Today at the White House.
Quite frankly, offer thank you and appreciation to those who are first responders and put their lives on the line and were able to take out the shooter so quickly. Those American citizens who put their bodies in harm's way to protect their loved ones. And he also wants to talk about potential solutions, how we keep this from ever happening again. And lastly, I'd say he wants to have a conversation with them that it's time to unify. We can do something impactful and important to prevent this from ever happening again if we come together.
Let me just follow up with you on that, because you talk about the need to unify, and again, some of the criticism that the president has been getting is about his rhetoric. So does the president need to change his rhetoric in order to help unify this country?
The president's been talking clearly over the last several days about what he wants to do and the direction he wants to take this country. I hope you would ask that question of people on the left.
But what about his
I've heard
rhetoric,
some of the
Hogan?
comments made by Beto O'Rourke just recently. I believe it was on your network. And it seems to me he's less concerned about the safety of Americans and more concerned about winning the caucuses. And that's problematic in many ways because, quite frankly, that type of rhetoric is irresponsible and it's dangerous.
What about the
It's time to
president's
move on.
rhetoric? He's the president.
Hogan, would the president be willing to work with President Barack Obama?
The president is considering taking when it
Repeat
comes
that,
to,
I'm sorry.
What are some of the executive actions that the president is considering? Can you name 2 or 3 things that are under consideration
Well,
in talks?
yeah, he mentioned some in his speech. We've talked to lawmakers already about some of the gun control legislation they have, whether it's the Two Mansion bill, whether it's the red flag laws that we've talked about on multiple occasions. He's also talking about some of the loopholes that would have potentially stopped this tragedy. For example, one of the shooters had a rape and kill list, but because of HIPAA laws, no one was able to see that when he went and purchased a firearm. There are crisis exemptions that exist. So things can be done at the legislative and the executive level, and we're looking at all of those things to make sure.
Hogan,
Are there
tomorrow
meetings that the president has planned in terms with, lawmakers? Has anybody been invited to the White House to discuss some of these potential actions?
Well, obviously, the president's leaving tomorrow with the First Lady to go and meet with people in these communities that have suffered unspeakable tragedy at the hands of evil people. We've spoken with many lawmakers at this point. At the staff level, we're trying to coordinate with them to find out the best means and ways to get together quickly. Right now, the president's focus is going into these communities and having a conversation with people on the ground.
Does the
Hogan,
president support the
Hogan,
bill that passed the House? Does the president support that bill, or does he oppose that bill?
He's looking at all of these bills right now. Again, he ascribed to several solutions from the diplomat room the other day that we're looking at. I don't want to get ahead of any piece of legislation right now or where he would be on that. He's gathering all the information, and when we have an announcement on what he's supporting.
Hogan, are there
Hogan, in
plans
terms of
Senator
healing, we
Schumer
want to
to
talk
give
about
remarks?
healing the nation, Hogan.
There's rhetoric that has happened with the president, and many people are blaming the president for his rhetoric, not causing perhaps this, but inspiring it. What's the response?
I don't think that's what's happening, actually. I think they are literally saying, and I've seen Democrats on air saying he is responsible for this. His rhetoric is responsible for this shooting. He's responsible for these deaths, this murder, and that is a dangerous place to take this country, because there are plenty of people, as you know, who are evil.
How is the president bringing the faith community into the discussion, Hogan?
But does it inspire?
There are plenty of people in this country who commit acts of evil in the name of politicians, of celebrities, and all types of things. It's not the politician's fault when someone acts out their evil intention. And I'll just have to say, we would never dream of blaming Elizabeth Warren for the shooter who supports Elizabeth Warren.
But
we would
Hogan,
never blame.
but Hogan,
we would never
none
dream
of those.
of blaming Ocasio-Cortez for someone who perpetrated a terrorist attack on a DHS ICE facility because he used the same rhetoric she uses about concentration camps.
But Hogan,
we could also never blame Barack Obama for the police shootings in Dallas. We wouldn't blame Bernie Sanders for the shooting of Steve religious beliefs. or
Speaking
other
of
politics.
Barack Obama, I have a
And
question.
quite frankly, it's ridiculous to try and make those connect in some way.
But
You
Hogan,
have
none
to
of
blame
those.
the people here who pulled the trigger. Those are the ones who are evil. Those are the ones who are sick, mentally ill. And those are the ones that have to be dealt with.
Hogan, none of those people, Hogan, wrote manifestos echoing the president's
He
language.
doesn't have anything on his public schedule. How is he spending his day today?
He's meeting with staff on a wide range of policies, having conversations and prepping for his trip to these communities.
Will he be
This is
making
a
remarks at
this
any of
is a-
these,
okay,
at any of
This
these
is a
stops?
very, very serious moment in our country's history. This president recognizes the gravity of this moment. You saw that manifest in his speech in the diplomat room, and what he wanted to convey to the American people was the fact that he shares in their sadness, but he also shares in this anger.
But Hogan,
In
And he
terms
also
of
offers
healing
solutions
along
and made
racial
the point that
divides,
come
can we
out of
talk
this
about that?
Stronger together and unified if we come together and put forth solutions that actually make a difference and a change. This is not about legislation that makes people feel good. It's about legislation or executive action that actually makes people safer.
but Hogan.